What if I told you that a person's body screams their desire for you, even when their mouth stays silent? The great psychologist Carl Jung understood that when someone is truly attracted to you, their unconscious mind reveals everything through gestures, gazes, and an energy that changes only when you are near. These are not the obvious signs you've been taught to look for. They are profound emotional signals that cannot be faked. In this video, we will teach you how to decipher this invisible language. You will learn to perceive the subconscious signs that confirm attraction, moving beyond the superficial, to understand what is truly happening in the depths of the human psyche. This is the kind of deep, transformative knowledge we explore here. A huge number of you who find these truths are watching without being subscribed. If you are ready to open the eyes of your soul and see what others miss, do 3 things for us now. Hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss a video that could give you this clarity. And comment the single word "awake" below to affirm your journey with us. Think for a moment about someone you're attracted to. Remember a conversation, an interaction. What did that person do without realizing it? What gesture, what reaction, what subtle change did you perceive? Maybe you felt it, but your mind couldn't explain it. That is precisely what we are going to unmask. Carl Jung said that everything that is not made conscious manifests in our lives as destiny, and in the realm of love and desire, that is even more powerful. Because before the other person dares to confess what they feel, their unconscious has already shouted it over and over again. It's just that almost no one knows how to listen. And now pay close attention, because from this moment on, you will start to notice things that previously went unnoticed. Details that will seem insignificant, but are loaded with meaning, like the fact that this person unconsciously imitates your body posture. They don't do it on purpose. Their unconscious is trying to synchronize with you, as if it wanted to be on your same frequency. What Jung would describe as an archetypal attempt at communion. 2 souls aligning without the ego interfering. This is just the beginning, because there are moments when attraction becomes a game of shadows and the unconscious begins to project. Projection, that Jungian phenomenon in which we place onto the other what we do not recognize in ourselves. When someone begins to idealize you, when they attribute virtues to you that you haven't even demonstrated, what is happening is not rational. It is a dance of the unconscious. It sees you and sees in you what its soul needs. And then, every time it looks at you, it does so for a little longer than normal. Not long enough to be obvious, just a little more. Half a second longer, a slower blink. Those eyes that seem to linger when you leave. That is another sign, a very powerful one. Deep psychology shows us that the body does not lie, and among all the unconscious signs, there is one that stands out above many others: the inclination of the body. Observe if that person subtly leans towards you when you speak, even without realizing it. It is as if their energy cannot help it. It is not the mind that decides, it is the unconscious responding to your presence. And don't be surprised if you find contradictory signals. Many times the unconscious screams what the conscious tries to hide. That person may avoid you or seem cold, but in the small details, in how they touch your hair as they pass, in how they look for absurd excuses to talk to you, in how they adjust their clothes when you are near, that is where the unconscious betrays the ego, because desire, when it is true, seeps through, even if one tries to control it. And the more they repress what they feel, the stronger the projection will be. Jung explained it clearly: the stronger the repression, the more violent the symbolic appearance. That is why sometimes the person who desires you most is the one who contradicts themselves the most, because they are fighting against themselves, against their shadow. And that is where you, if you are attentive, can see what no one else sees. Now that we have started to open that door, I want you to stay with me, because what comes next will completely change the way you interpret every gesture, every conversation, every silence. We are going to delve into much more subtle, almost imperceptible, but real signs. Signs you cannot ignore if you want to discover the truth behind human behavior and the desire that has not yet been confessed. One of the most powerful ways in which the unconscious communicates desire is through forgetting. Yes, you heard that right. Selective memory. When that person forgets details with everyone else, but with you, they remember everything, even what you yourself had forgotten. This is the unconscious, demonstrating that you have been registered as something important, because what has an emotional charge remains, and what does not fades away. This is how the psyche operates. Carl Jung spoke of the affective constellation, that phenomenon in which an unconscious content is forcefully activated because it is connected to a deep emotion. When someone likes you, you become a symbol charged with meaning, and that symbol begins to appear in their dreams, in their random thoughts, in their Freudian slips. They start to look for you without knowing why, to mention you when the context does not warrant it, to slip your name into conversations where it does not fit. That is not a coincidence. It is unconscious desire emerging wherever it can. And here comes another powerful sign: time. But not time in general, but the way a person manages their time when it comes to you. Jung said that there is no greater demonstration of what a person values than the sacrifice of time. Time is life, in its pure form. So when someone reorganizes their world to coincide with yours, even for a few minutes, the unconscious is speaking. They don't do it because they have to. They do it because something inside them pushes them, because something in you activates something in him or her that they don't even understand. Another key element is acts of microprotection, small gestures that might seem like courtesy but are laden with care. Like when that person looks at you when crossing the street, or makes sure you get home safely, or notices changes in your emotional state before you verbalize them. These signs, when not done intentionally, reveal an emotional bond deeper than what is apparent. And it is not the ego acting there. It is the archetype of the protector, the hidden lover, the soul that wants to get closer without declaring itself. And now, observe something else. The silences. Not just any silence. The type of silence that occurs when you enter a room. An internal silence, as if something rearranges itself, as if a presence alters the energy. That invisible change that cannot be measured with words, but is felt with the whole body. It is another unconscious manifestation. The body becomes more alert, the nervous system changes its rhythm, and everything in that person seems to orient itself towards you. It is not a strategy, it is an instinctive reaction. They don't control it. It comes naturally to them. Another clue that few recognize is the expression of subtle jealousy. Jung spoke of the anima and the animus, the feminine aspects in the man and the masculine aspects in the woman that seek to be integrated into consciousness through significant relationships. When you embody that inner figure for someone, be it their idealized animus or their projected anima, any threat to that imaginary bond generates tension. That is why soft jealousy appears, camouflaged as sarcasm, uncomfortable jokes, or unnecessary comparisons. It is the unconscious reacting to the possibility of losing you, even if it doesn't have you. And in the unsaid, there is another key. Observe how they open up or close down when you are near. There are those who suddenly become clumsier, make more mistakes, stumble over their words. Do you know why that happens? Because the unconscious is busy. It is fighting with the ego. It is trying to hide something that has already filtered through and that collapses their attention. That clumsiness is not weakness, it is a revelation. But there is a deeper level. And that is when that person begins to adopt your expressions, your ways of speaking, even your emotional language. Without noticing, they begin to resemble you. This, from the perspective of deep psychology, has a name: projective identification. It is the unconscious's attempt to symbolically approach the object of desire. They cannot touch you, so they imitate you. They don't do it as a strategy. They do it because there is a psychic resonance, an inner attunement, that seeks to manifest itself externally. And even more hidden than all of this is the language of dreams. When you dream of someone repeatedly, and especially when that person dreams of you, the unconscious has taken command. Jung saw dreams as a direct pathway to the soul. And when that soul invokes you in its nights, when you appear again and again in that symbolic universe that escapes the control of the mind, then there is no longer any doubt. You have become a living symbol within their psyche. This is not superstition, it is deep psychology. It is understanding that symbols, archetypes, projections are ways in which the psyche organizes and expresses its hidden truths. And when you are that symbol, you will notice it in the way the other looks at you when they think you are not watching, in how their voice drops half a tone, in how they blush when they make a mistake with you, in how they suddenly seem more like a boy or a girl when they are near you, vulnerable, human, real. And there is still more. Much more, because the unconscious does not stop speaking. It's just that almost no one knows how to listen to it. There is a moment in every human connection where time seems to lose its structure, where a conversation becomes a bubble that isolates from the world. Jung would have interpreted this as an experience of synchronicity, meaning-laden events that occur simultaneously without a logical explanation, but with a deep significance. If you have noticed that when you talk to that person, time flies, that you are both surprised when you look at the clock, that is not just a distraction, it is a symbolic connection, a resonance between unconscious minds. And it is because the unconscious does not seek approval, it seeks communion. That is why, when someone likes you, their energy begins to adapt to yours, not just in gestures or words, but in rhythm. They begin to breathe at the same time, to walk at the same pace, to laugh before the joke ends. The interesting thing is that none of this is planned. It happens because there is an invisible dance occurring beyond rational thought. Even discomfort is a sign. Not all attraction is fluid. Sometimes someone likes you so much that they don't know how to act around you. They freeze up, avoid eye contact, get nervous, or even behave distantly. That is because in Jungian terms, what you represent is too powerful. You have become a symbol that activates their unconscious. And when that happens, the reaction is not always kind or logical. It can be evasive, contradictory, even hostile. But underneath all of that is fear. Fear of feeling, fear of losing control. Observe if that person begins to show you different versions of themselves, not because they are fake, but because they are in internal conflict. The unconscious is torn between the desire to get closer and the fear of what that closeness might mean. And it is then that they begin to reveal their shadows. Jung said that only when two people are truly connected does the shadow begin to come to light. Because intimacy not only reveals what is beautiful, it also activates what is hidden, unresolved, repressed. And if you find yourself being a confidant without having asked for it, if that person begins to share very intimate aspects with you, topics they don't reveal to anyone else, it is not by chance. It is another sign of deep attraction, because their unconscious perceives you as a refuge, as a safe figure, as a symbolic territory where they can be vulnerable without being hurt. The fascinating thing is that many times they don't even notice it, but you do, because you are learning to see with different eyes. And there is more, much more. Have you ever felt that this person appears just when you are about to think of them, or that they write to you right after you dreamed of them? That, from Jung's perspective, could be interpreted as a form of symbolic, even telepathic connection. He spoke of the collective, unconscious, a deep layer of the human psyche that we all share. And when two people are emotionally bonded, that channel is activated. It is not magic, it is psychological depth. It is what Jung called an archetypal bridge between souls. And here we enter the most subtle realm, the emotional tone with which that person treats you. Not the words they use, but the effective charge behind them. Sometimes they may speak to you with more sweetness than they would use with anyone else, or with more intensity, more urgency, as if something inside them is activated only with you. That emotional energy that transcends words is one of the most powerful signs that exist, because the unconscious cannot hide it. It seeps through, it manifests in the gaze, in the tone, in the shared silences. And if you have ever felt as if that person was watching you and, upon turning, they actually were, do not take it lightly. That surveillance is not rational, it is instinctive, because when someone feels real attraction, their unconscious leads them to observe you even without realizing it. And not just with their eyes, but also with their attention. They listen to you when you are not talking. They feel you when you are silent. And their body reacts to your presence as if you were a magnet. Jung believed that true bonds are recognized beyond language, that when souls meet, they know it, and the body acts accordingly. No matter how rational a person is, their energy will betray what they feel. They can avoid saying it, but they cannot avoid feeling it, and sooner or later you will know. But we are not finished yet. There are signs that are so deep, so internal, that almost no one mentions them because they are not seen. They are perceived, and we are heading towards them. By now you will have understood that the unconscious is not an enemy to be tamed, but an ally to be deciphered. That when someone desires you, their mind may play at hiding it, but their soul does not know how to lie. The gestures, the pauses, the contradictions, the silences, everything that seemed meaningless now has a profound significance. You are not imagining things, you are just awakening to a reality that most people do not see. And if you have made it this far, it is no coincidence. There is a part of you that longs to understand beyond appearances, that wants to read the invisible, translate the symbols, live from emotional truth. Carl Jung taught us that what is not made conscious controls us. And now you have the tools to see what once confused you, to recognize the hidden desire, even when it has not been named. Because real love, genuine attraction, does not begin with words. It begins in the unconscious. And once you know that, you can't unsee it. You now possess the tools to see what was once invisible, to understand the secret language of the unconscious. You are no longer guessing, you are awakening. To honor this new perception, we invite you to make a declaration. Go to the comments and write the powerful words, "I see the signs." Let this be your testament that you are now part of those who understand. If this video opened your eyes, give it a like and share it with a friend who is still asking, do they like me or am I imagining it? Your experience can be the light that helps them see more clearly. A huge number of people who awaken with this knowledge are watching without being subscribed. If you are ready to continue this journey into the mysteries of the mind, soul, and emotions with us, take a moment to subscribe and activate the bell. This is just the beginning. Thank you for being here. Your attention, your time, your presence, these are also signs, and we have certainly seen them. We will see you in the next one.